We have 8 speakers with us today, and we are going to show them how we can listen attentively to their speech. They have practiced really hard. Each speaker has made it to the first winner spot in their school. So they've gone through the classroom competition, the school competition, and made it that far. When they're speaking, we are going to listen very attentively. And then when they're done speaking, the judges are going to ask them 2 questions. So we're not going to applaud. We're going to hold our applaud until the 2 questions are done, because they have to focus on those questions, be able to hear them. And at this point, I'd like to introduce our MCs who are going to take it from here. So please welcome Prashana and Atuli.
Good morning, students, parents, staff, and our beloved judges.
Welcome to the ER20 Family of Schools 2014 Junior Speech Competition.
My name is Rashana.
And my name is Bathuri, and we will be your MCs for today.
Our judges for today are Ms. Prasad, Superintendent for ER20, Mr. Webb, Guidance Counselor for ER20, Ms. Hadley, and Mr. Trevana, who both work for a regional behavior team.
Before we start, I would like to say that when we introduce the competitors, we will not say the topic. Let's leave it a surprise for everyone, until the participants say their topic.
We wish good luck to all the competitors. Now let's get started.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, parents, and students. It's game time. Girls and boys, why are we so different? Since the start of time, girls and boys have been enemies, arguing and competing over who will rise and overcome the other. Despite knowing all the problems and drama this causes, we continue this conflict, comparing ourselves to each other. I think every one of you has heard someone say at least once in your life that boys are stronger, faster, smarter, and more talented than girls in any way you could think of. But that is not true. I think girls are just as capable as boys at doing whatever they decide to do, from the sports to the arts. In the hockey world, boys and men are considered talented players. And I understand why people say that, because I agree. If you watch an NHL game, you can see how the teams move the puck and work together. But I still think that not all boys are more talented than girls. I think I'm one of the best hockey players that I know, and if you didn't notice, I'm a girl. Once girls and boys start to play competitive hockey, they are separated. And I think this is a good choice to make, for safety reasons. But I also think this is not the brightest idea, because kids could become too competitive, and their parents could influence them to play hockey for only one reason, to go for the gold. When kids first start to play hockey, they usually play house league. Most house leagues are free, so that gives the kids a chance to see if they are interested in the sport, and their parents get to save money. Most house leagues are also co-ed. That means the league consists of both girls and boys. In house league, I can see that kids understand that hockey was created to have fun. That's why the only thing they do is have fun. When I was in house league, everyone got along. Even kids on other teams got along. Everyone had fun playing the game of hockey. When I started to play competitively, things changed. Everyone around me only seemed focused on their need to win, which took all the fun out of the game. Personally, I think I became one of those girls, but I never forgot why I started to play hockey in the first place, to have fun and to enjoy. Imagine this, only one girl on the ice, about to play hockey with a bunch of boys. Being placed on a good team, I thought everything was going to be fine. I was wrong. A boy came late and was placed on the other team. An appropriate way to describe him would be a hog. He didn't pass the puck once to any of his teammates and scored every time, gracefully putting the puck in the net. His dad told him over and over and over to stop keeping the puck to himself, but he didn't listen. His dad left and he eventually followed him. This is what happens to kids who overthink themselves. They act as a completely different person. They do this because they think it might benefit them. A coach might invite them to be part of a higher level hockey team. Or they might just love attention. I think parents should be careful about what they say and do in front of their kids, inside and outside the hockey rinks, because it could change their child's opinion. A kid might hear their parents talking about how great they are and how they are the best child on their hockey team. And the kid will probably agree with them and tell others the same. Parents are completely changing their child's attitude towards the game of hockey. Sometimes parents tell their children, enjoy, have fun, but the kids still turn out to think that they rule the hockey nation. Girls and boys should have fun playing the game of hockey, because that's what it's all about. Remember that while playing any sport or doing anything at all, enjoy it while it lasts. This quote by a man who has broken records and made hockey history tells us that if we don't try, we will never get to where we want to be. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. Thank you.
So, Alexander, thank you very much for sharing with us your passion about hockey. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask you. One of which is, do you enjoy public speaking and why?
Well, the truth is, I really don't enjoy it. I get nervous a lot, but it's a very good skill to have, and I enjoy this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned skill, and you also said that in house league, you and your peers got along. So what skill might you use to make the transition to competitive hockey in order to be a team player as a girl?
Okay, can you please repeat that question?
What skill might you use? You mentioned that you really enjoyed playing house league. So what skill as a girl might you use in order to make that transition to competitive hockey as a girl?
Well, now I play competitive hockey. It's
Right.
all girls hockey.
Okay.
And before it was with boys.
Right.
So before we all got along, even though we were girls and boys, because we were smaller. But then we moved on, it was all girls. So I find it more comfortable too. So that's kind of how.
Thank you.
Wow, that was great. Next we have the spectacular Logan.
Let me take you back 6 years ago. My favorite TV station was Animal Planet. I loved watching documentaries and learning about new, strange, and exotic animals from across the world. My mom and I stumbled across a program about a bear species we had never heard of before, the moon bear. I was in love at the first image of these adorable bears. Moon bears, also known as Asiatic black bears, got their name from the white crescent-shaped mark across their chest. They live across a vast area, which includes India, Vietnam, Taiwan, Korea, China, islands of Japan, and Far East Russia. Moon bears are largely herbivores, but have been known to be very aggressive towards humans. This brings me to my point of wanting to introduce you to this cruel, inhumane injustice that is being done to them by the worst predator in today's world, humans. While watching this program, I realized it was not just to learn about this bear species that has been proven to have withstood time and, evolutionary speaking, has barely changed in thousands of years. These bears are being captured and caged for biofarming in many countries. This is a heartbreaking process in which the bears are caged, unable to stand or move, their teeth and claws are removed, and the tubes inserted into the bear's gallbladder to extract bile, which is believed to have medicinal purposes. During biomilking, the bears show signs of severe distress, moaning and banging their heads against the cages, while many bears chew on their own paws. On most farms, surgery for bile extraction is performed by farm owners with no veterinary training. During illness, the bears are rarely given drugs, but when they are, it is usually not effective and the bears are left to die. For every 2 bears that have the tubing successfully implanted, there are 3 that die from complications. Between the ages of 5 and 10, some bears stop producing bile due to severe damage to their gallbladders from frequent overmilking. These bears are transferred to another cage where they wait for death to come from sickness or starvation, or they are killed for their paws and gallbladders. More than 10,000 bears are kept in China, and around 2,500 suffer the same fate in Vietnam. The bears are milked regularly for their bile, which is not only used in traditional medicine, but also in many ordinary household products. Bile is extracted using many painful techniques, all leading to massive infection in the bears. This cruel practice continues despite the availability of many effective and affordable herbal and synthetic alternatives. Most farmed bears are kept in tiny cages. In China, the cages are usually so small that the bears are unable to turn around or stand on all fours. Some bears are caged as cubs and never released. Bears may be kept caged for up to 30 years. Most of the farm bears suffer from multiple diseases and tumors that ultimately kill them. It shocks me to know that these labeled bear products are not just available in Asia. Both the United States and Canada carry many products with bear bile. It is an ingredient in shampoo, wine, eye drops, and many ointments. In 1999, bottles of bear bile wine were still being given to passengers on internal Chinese flights. There are over 75 herbal alternatives that can replace the use of bear bile. Many doctors and charities are trying their best to get this information out to the public, but the demand for bear bile seems to stay strong, even though most products that are being consumed are from contaminated bile from diseased farm bears. The Chinese government has refused to bow to public and international pressure to stop this horrendous cruelty and close these farms. In fact, as I mentioned, there are over 10,000 bears being farmed in China now, where last year it was only 7,000. What can we do? Tell your friends. The more people that protest, the better. Email our Prime Minister and ask them, what are they doing to stop this injustice? Write to the Chinese ambassador. Together, we need to put an end to this cruelty.
Logan, thank you very much. Really enjoyed your topic. Just have a couple of questions to ask you as well. Some people get nervous speaking in front of a group of people. What advice would you give a friend who did not feel confident?
I tell them that I feel nervous too sometimes, but you know you can do it, and it doesn't really matter if you lose or win, and that your parents and your friends will be proud of you no matter what.
Thank you very much. The second question is, if there are more surgeries for bio extraction to help human beings, would you support that, and why or why not?
I don't know. I don't really think I would support that because it's endangering another species, and I don't agree with that because they're being caged, and I think they have a right to live and be in their habitat. And as I said, there are a lot of herbal and synthetic alternatives that are affordable and effective that can replace that use, so I wouldn't support that.
Thank you, Logan.
Now we have the awesome Sandy.
Do you like chocolate? Because I do. My biggest dream is to live in a chocolate factory, like Willy Wonka. That would be so much fun. Good morning, judges, students, staff, and fellow competitors. There are two versions of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There is also a 1964 children's book by Roald Dahl. Did you know that the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, made in 1971, starred Gene Wilder, and it was directed by Mel Stewart. But then the movie from 2005, it starred Johnny Depp, and it was directed by Tim Bruno. Have you ever wondered what the difference between the movies are and the books are? The book was released in 1964, and the movie was released in 1971. In the book, it did not say anything about Charlie's father, but in the movie from 2005, he worked in a toothpaste factory. If I opened my very own chocolate factory, it would be the best chocolate factory you ever saw. I would open my chocolate factory in the North Pole, so my chocolate bars would stay cold. And guess what? Santa's also would get free samples. But then, my factory would be really big. And I would have Oompa Loompas like Willy Wonka, but my Oompa Loompas would be blue. And say if it was a rainy day outside, it would be raining gobstoppers in my chocolate factory. I would also have a river, but not a chocolate river, the sweetest melted fudge you could think of. Did you know that Willy Wonka created candies like Sweet Tarts, Nerds, Laffy Taffy, Gobstoppers, Fun Dip, Pixie Sticks, and even chocolate bars? But one of my favorite candies from Willy Wonka is Fun Dip. It's just so much fun and tastes so good. If I was to create at least 3 chocolate bars, these chocolate bars would taste so good. The first chocolate bar's name would be Mystery Color, which means when you open that tasty looking chocolate bar, it could be different colors. It could be all the colors side by side. The second chocolate bar's name would be Very Cool. Its name would be Triple Tasty Fudge. It would have triple melted fudge on the inside of the chocolate bar, and on the outside of the chocolate bar, it would have sweet milk chocolate. And the last chocolate bar I'm going to talk to you about is called Fantastic Caramel. It would have a lot of caramel in this chocolate bar. If you came and visit me in my very own chocolate factory, who would you want to be? Charlie, a very nice boy. Mike, he loves playing video games. Faruka, a girl that wants everything right away. Violet, a very mean girl. Or Augustus, a boy that loves to eat. If you open your very own chocolate factory, would it be like mine or Willy Wonka? Thank you.
Again, a couple of questions to ask you. What makes you proud about the speech you just gave us?
I feel proud of my speech. I think it was better than my last year. And I feel really proud that I made it to the stage.
And if you were to write a book like Roll Roll, what might the title of that book be based on your speech?
Mrs. Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Thank you.
Now give it up for the powerful Danielle.
Hello there, ladies and gents, teachers and judges. Haven't you ever wondered what is a voice? More so, vocal cords. You know, when you're like in an opera. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Well, that was really good. If you could, wouldn't you wish you could sing as good as the one and only Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey? Then again, practice makes perfect. Well, it's about time you find the secret behind all this. Starting off with, what are your vocal cords? Well, some say it's like a string instrument. Others disagree. But the voice is its own art, located at the top of your windpipe. And the heart is the vocal cords that are composed of twin foldings, hence vocal folds of mucous membrane, stretch horizontally across the larynx. They vibrate, creating buzzing sound waves due to the amount of air being expelled, opening when inhaling and closing when exhaling. Then, how is sound created? Your vocal cords are open when breathing, not being able to produce sound. So, how is sound created? Well, it turns out you have muscles in the back that bring the cords together like a working machine. And when air flows through, they vibrate, creating sound. But you see, sound is like an evolution. You can play tricks on yourself. Make one pitch sound like a million syllables. Or even make a pitch sound like a beat. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Sound also brings in life. Given a monotone, the assumptions of you being happy are less likely than if you'd have a high-pitched tone. Due to this, can anyone really be a good singer? Anyone can learn to sing on pitch with power. Singing is just like a skill that you can learn. Not everyone can be the next Alex or Michael Jackson. It just depends on the type of voice you have. Not everyone would want to sing high notes, but it doesn't mean it's not worth the effort, just the cycle of life. You don't just sing in the shower, you perform. You don't just whistle, you bust a tune. All it takes is work, dedication, and passion. Only those who risk going too far can possibly figure out how far they can go. T.S. Eliot. Can you damage your vocal cords? You can damage your vocal cords without proper care. In case you live in a noisy environment and consist of shouting or screaming, you may be at risk. Certain things cause breakaways in your vocal cords, such as surgery, strokes, smoking, inflammation, and etc. Why does singing make us happy? Singing releases endorphins, known as feel-good chemicals in the brain, because the deep breathing used to sing draws in more oxygen and eases the blood circulation. Group singing, some say it's like an unexplicable emotion that forms in you, and it takes something incredibly intimate, shared with a room full of people. But beyond that, there's something more thrilling. Harmony. One form of joy that springs through you is a voice, something that speaks louder than you can, a place where two understandings meet. For example, Taylor Swift sings what every girl wants to say, and Bruno Mars sings what every girl wants to hear. Singing is a passion. It's loud, it speaks, and it's a part of us. It sits above our windpipe and follows along the flow of life. But there's so many traps. This voice is shared by people all around the world, but it's hard to find. Wait, where is it? Have you found your voice yet?
Danielle, thank you for your voice. Again, just a couple questions to ask you. How did your family help you with your speech?
Well, they had voices, they made them louder, so they're more of an inspiration for me because they helped me with steps through my life, so it's more of a show don't tell, so I learned from them, so they're an inspiration.
Thank you very much. And the second question is, how would you use your knowledge of what you learned about vocal cords as a student to be even more successful in life?
Well, for me, I would spread the word everywhere because it's good for everyone to have a voice, to have an opinion on things. So the more of a democracy we become, the more people can be open, so people's ideas can be shared. So it's not just one person that's speaking. For me, it's like an inspiration because I can make a voice louder because I'm not speaking for just one person. I'm speaking for a bunch of people, like people all around the world.
Sweet. Give it up for the creative Sarah.
Discrimination. Do you know what that means? Discrimination is a negative distinction towards a person on the grounds of race, ethnicity, religious beliefs, physical ability, mental ability, and so on and so forth. Fellow competitors, classmates, honorable judges, staff, and students, good morning. My name is Saran, and today I'm here to talk to you about racial injustice and discrimination and to tell an inspiring and touching story. In the 1960s, a Caucasian and colored baby were both born on the same day. The colored mother gets sent to the basement of the hospital while the Caucasian mother gets sent to the delivery room on the upper floor. Both mothers give birth to beautiful children. As the two newborns get sent away, the Caucasian baby gets sent to the nursery room while the colored baby gets sent to the utility room where bedpans are washed, exposed to a number of very deadly bacteria. The colored mother looks into her child's dark brown eyes and names her Hope. Hope that one day she can live in a world where everyone takes pride in their differences. On the first day of kindergarten, both children walk to school. As Hope walks to school, she sees a Caucasian child walk up the steps to an all-white school, and she asks herself, "Why am I always separated from those people?" When she gets home, she asks her mother, and her mother answers, "Darling, we are all the same, but some people just refuse to acknowledge that. Why are we treated differently? We all breathe in the same air, so what's the difference? The pigment of your skin should not define who you are nor what you are capable of. It is a disappointment that just a little difference in the tone of our skin can make such a great impact upon us and how we are treated." As the two children grow up and become adults, Hope recalls what her mother stated when she was but a child and realizes that she can do anything just as hard as anyone else. So Hope decides to apply to some of the most ideal universities across the United States, and a few months later she gets an acceptance letter from the Yale University. If we are all the same, what's the purpose of racially discriminating those of color? We are all beautiful in our own ways and we should embrace that. Diversity. Do you know what that means? Diversity is the understanding and acceptance that each individual is different. May it be an individual's race, ethnicity, religious beliefs, physical ability, mental ability, and so on and so forth.
We are the difference and we are the change. And I believe that if we come together and unite, we can change the world for future generations and for us. Thank you.
Referring to the topic, again, just a couple of questions to ask you. What suggestions can you give to other students about selecting a topic?
For someone who doesn't know what to talk about, I could tell them just to write or talk about something that they feel most confident about.
Thank you very much. And the second question is, how will you continue to advocate for the elimination of racial injustice in our society?
I continue to spread the word and tell people that there's no difference. Just because your skin's different doesn't mean that you should be segregated from other people.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Next is the spontaneous Natalie.
Did you hear what Jane said to Shelley? She said she can't be on the soccer team. And I heard Luke say to John, he's not smart enough to be in the spelling bee. Okay, now do you know what I was just doing? Well, it's called gossip. And how do you think it made Jane, Shelley, Luke, John, and even I feel when I was talking about them? Good morning, students, staff, and judges. My name is Natalie Radulovich, and today I'll be talking to you about the history and good and bad effects of gossip. And I heard this speech is going to be really good. Now let's talk about the history of gossip. Do you know what gossip means? Well, it could mean rumors, but could also mean spreading useful information. There's been some evidence that gossip is built into our DNA. In that case, all of us may have a strong need to gossip at times. Long, long ago, gossip was called God-sib, God meaning godparent, and sib meaning sibling. In the 16th century, gossip meant friendship. Later in the 16th century, Shakespeare showed gossip in a different way, the bad way, in his play Othello. You know when you play broken telephone, and it's your turn to say a word or phrase? By the end of the line, it's different? That's basically the way gossip works. So let's say I say to someone, did you see Sally's new red shoes? I really like them. And that person would say to someone else, Natalie saw Sally wearing new red shoes. And then that person would say to someone else, Natalie saw Sally wearing new red shoes, and she said she liked them a bit. And the next person would totally distort it and say, I didn't like them. You see how gossip can spread lies and rumors? Do you know why the third person said, I like them a bit? Well, I wasn't there to tell them if I liked them or not. It's a bit like those websites, Twitter, Gmail, and Facebook. Using these websites is an example of how technology is used to spread gossip. Gossip is one of those things you do without thinking and not knowing the consequences involved. Do you think all gossip is bad? Think again. Gossip is good when you're talking nice about someone. If the person you're talking nicely about is happy with what you said, you'll be happy too. My dad is really excited to watch the TV series Cosmos, and he heard about it from a friend who heard about it on TV. Those are a couple examples of good gossip. On the other hand, celebrities just love people gossiping about them, like Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus. They crave having people gossip about them, good or bad. They think all gossip is good because it puts them in the media. But not all gossip is good. There are bad situations you can get yourself into if you're not talking nicely about someone. When you talk about others, don't be surprised when they start talking about you. Soon, no one will trust you, and you won't trust others. When you break promises by gossiping, it spreads lies and you can give people a bad reputation, and you could lose a friendship. In the news, there have been stories of people who have committed suicide because of a lie someone has spread about them, like Amanda Todd and Rhea Parsons. Think, how would you feel if someone said something about you that wasn't true? Now the whole school knows. I would feel terrible and embarrassed. Those are bad situations for everyone involved. Now you know the history and good and bad effects of gossip. Just remember what I said about the different situations and how you can make someone happy if you're talking nice about them. Next time you're about to gossip, just think, do you want to be the one who starts the broken telephone? I don't. enjoyed presenting it to my family and friends.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, as I said at the beginning, gossip is often juicy and many times interesting. What is one thing that you would do to turn negative gossip into positive gossip in your friends?
Well, if the person who's gossiping, and they start talking about someone bad, I would start talking about them nicely. Change the subject to talking about them nicely.
Thank you very much.
Now we have the fantastic Kennedy.
How would you like to meet Amelia Earhart, or William Shakespeare, or even King Tut? And let's not forget George Washington. We can go to different countries like France or Kenya, or maybe even China. We can relive the French Revolution and fly the first airplane. My name's Community, and I'm going to keep you guessing what my speech is about. Some people think that what my speech is about can be pretty boring. Well, it's my hobby. I do it upside down, in the car, walking to school, and... Ooh, let me tell you a secret. I sometimes do it in the washroom while I poop. It's fun to do with a friend or two, or by yourself. Did you guess what my speech is about? What? Not yet? Come on, people. You have no imagination. Okay, you guys will never guess it. I'm running out of patience. My topic is about books. Books, so glorious books. I love them so much I even wrote a poem about them. It goes like this. Roses are red, violets are blue. I love books, how about you? Books are great because anyone can enjoy them. Well, first you have to learn to read. And if you don't know how to read, you could always ask a parent. You could even read with friends and teachers. Also, you could read books anywhere, anytime. Do you remember when you had that power outage? When you guys were bored to death and didn't know what to do with yourself? I read a book. So you see, books aren't so bad. They accompany you. Anyone can enjoy them, and you could do it anywhere, anytime. Hey, that just gave me an idea. I think I'll read a book right now. See ya.
What way do you think students should start participating in public speaking and why?
Well, I think like when you're about in grade 2 because it's a very good skill to have.
Thank you. So books help you journey through very many interesting topics. What is one of your favorite books and why?
Judy Lee Jones because it's so funny and hilarious.
Great, I so loved it. Last but not least, we have a dad reminder.
Every person has a right to live and a right to get a good education. Boy or girl, short or tall, fat or skinny, it doesn't matter. But was it true back then? In Swat Valley, Pakistan, the Taliban didn't want girls to get an education. This girl didn't like the sound of that, so she stood up and took a stand. Her name is Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai was born on July 12, 1997 into a Muslim family. She was given her first name Malala after Malala of Maiwand, a famous Pashtun poet and warrior woman from southern Afghanistan. Malala grew up in Swat Valley, Pakistan, with her two younger brothers, Atal and Kushal, her father Zainuddin Yousafzai, her mother Turpika Yousafzai, and her two pet chickens. Malala was educated in a large part by her father, who was a school owner, poet, and an educational activist himself. Besides Malala in her regular life, Malala is also an activist for women's education. She wrote these blogs about the Taliban and the influence of the Taliban in Swat and said that they are wrong if their killing scared her. It only made her stronger and braver. To keep her identity a secret, she put her name as Gul Makkai, which in Urdu means cornflower. The Taliban got very angry, so as a result of that, fewer girls attended school and finally the school shuts down. Do you know what the Taliban did next? They blew up more than 100 girls' schools. Even though the Taliban had finally gotten what they wanted, that still wasn't enough to stop Malala. She still wrote blogs and talked on the news about girls' education and how the Taliban were wrong. On February 15th, Malala heard gunshots on the streets of Mingora, but her father told her not to worry. They were firing for peace. He had read the newspaper and it had said that the government and militias were going to sign a peace deal next day. Later that night, the Taliban had announced the peace deal on their FM radio station, but didn't say they were going to accept it. 3 days went by, and finally, the local Taliban leader, Maulana Fazlullah, said that girls were allowed to go to school until exams were held on March 17th, but they had to wear burqas. Finally, Malala could go to school again. Malala had won, but that doesn't mean the Taliban weren't still angry or weren't going to do something about it. One day, Malala was on the bus, on her way home from school. Suddenly, the bus stopped, and a Taliban gunman came onto the bus and asked, "Which one of you is Malala Yousafzai? Speak up, or I'll shoot all of you." Malala's friends looked at her, which revealed her identity to the Taliban gunman. She got shot on the left side of her forehead. Then the bullet slowly traveled down her throat. Malala quickly went to a hospital where several surgeries were done, but she was still unconscious, so she was flown to England where further treatment could be done. News spread about Malala, the girl who stood up for education and got shot by the Taliban. Malala won many awards, including the National Youth Peace Prize, Honorary Canadian Citizenship Award, Sakharov Prize, and Simon de Beauvoir Prize. 4 prizes. Can you believe that? She also met many famous people, including the Prime Minister of Canada, the President of the United States, and his family too. So you see how much Malala went through? She kept on writing blogs and talked on the news, which was a very dangerous thing to do, but she still didn't stop until she got an education. Even when she got shot and was healed, but was supposed to rest, she didn't rest. She wrote and read for a better life ahead. Thank you.
Again, we have 2 questions to ask. One is, the questions you have to answer at the end of your presentation are just as important as your speech. Why is that?
Because while you're writing your speech, you need to know what you're writing about, so then you can answer anything about it.
Thank you. And the second question is, what is the single most important message you've learned about studying about Malala and her life and how that has inspired you?
Because Malala inspired me by doing what she wanted to do, and she didn't give up when it's a dangerous thing. She did it for everyone, not only her, so then she could have a successful life in the future.
We would like to congratulate all of you. You've all done an amazing job. Since each and every one of you made it to the finals, you get a certificate that shows that you were one of the finalists for the ER20 competition. When the judges come, they are going to announce only the first place winner. Okay? So I'm going to call you up. You're going to come get your certificate. Alexandra? Sandy? Daniela?
when we sit together to discuss the merits of each of the presenters. And it was extremely difficult. We were in fact chatting about how nervous we would have been, and we still get very nervous as we speak to audiences. And it's still the number one fear in the world is public speaking. So I want to commend and just congratulate each and every one of you first for taking this very brave step in choosing topics and working with your teachers and in sharing your thoughts about each of your topics with us here this morning. So to each of you, congratulations. And what's more is because your topics were so interesting, we actually remembered